Everybody have fun and keep being awesome! Fuck yeah! Oh, Tankat. He just unbageled and then did a big stretch with his beans up to the ceiling and then he rebageled. So cute. Oop. Scaffolding from a tower game fell. This question is. Oh shit! Thank God no one was hurt. Glares at Twitch. Wait, why are we glaring at Twitch? What happened? Etymology is not a bad word. Yes, useless numpty. Twitch is being twitchy? No. What? Things are going wrong on this website? Never. Oops. I'm really trying to not fling them across the desk, but it just kind of happens. There we go. I'm like so happy with how good these are turning out. They're literally paper that I was going to chuck in the bin. Now we have some fun little confetti that matches colorwise and it's all going to be good. Problem is this is such a dark color that I can't actually tell which ones have and not. Yep. Etymology, your message shows that. What? Twitch. Shut the fuck up, Twitch. If it goes TK, there was one that. Wait, what? TK? Total knockout? That one is Fantasia. Be doing some in that size, but doesn't matter. Ticks and noise. Just but onomatopoeia. Oh, we were going for the sound effect and not a acronym. I had you've triggered a memory for me there. My English teacher that I had in high school, year 10 or so, I think. I forget exactly where she was from. I want to say South Africa, maybe. but like had come to Australia. Like she was, oh gosh, she would have been probably in her 60s already when I was in high school in the early noughties. And so I think she was born there, but she moved here as a child / young adult, something like that. Like she had sort of a how would you describe it? A little bit like faded accent, I guess. Like it was still there, it was still clearly like you could tell, but also it had like faded back a fair bit. But yeah, she when she was teaching us English stuff, she said that word a lot, and the way that she said it with the accent and stuff. Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to accurately recreate how she said it, but yeah, I can hear it in my head. I always thought it was so like nice. Just the way that the end of the word inflected with her accent. She was one of those teachers that like most of the students didn't like because they thought she was a crotchety old bitch. And don't get me wrong, she certainly could be, but I never found her anything other than pleasant to deal with. Didn't deal with her very often, to be fair, but yeah. Okay, so not my friend was starting to wonder how small the world is. Would not be surprised, quite honestly, would not be surprised. The amount of small world moments that I've had is ridiculous. Some teams having standards makes it, yeah. I rather enjoyed the blunt high standards of teachers. Didn't like when they got caught up in technical, yeah. Was never a fan of, you know, letter of the law teachers as opposed to spirit of the law teachers. To be fair, I think the only kids that really had a strong opinion of her are the ones that tended to fuck around in class anyway, so their own fault, really. Pro tips: if you want to get away with shit in class, sit in the front row. Teachers never look for the mischief makers in the front row. I say mischief makers. I would just do homework from other classes in the classes I didn't give a shit about. Oh shit, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. Yep. Oh, is that what the rule says? You don't say. Oh, okay. Noted. You wanna play stupid games? Okay, let's play. Yep. I was incredibly, you know, well behaved. You know, I was still pretty doormat back then. There was a lot of things that I put up with that I shouldn't. And so like, really? You're just being a dick about it now. Why on earth would you piss off a nerd who is just known for, like, reading the dictionary? Like... Set P, I hate P, should have done it, spent a second times, but like you was quite yes. I didn't know how to stand up for myself yet. I mean, I did, don't get me wrong, like I wasn't complete walkover and stuff, but yeah, I did not stand up for myself as much as I should have. I was a teacher's pet, except for calculus. And I know I've told this story before, but brains here. Because I was, you know, burnt out gifted kid. Didn't know I was burnt out yet though. Yeah, because, oh Quirky, you're so smart. So it was expected that I take all of the really horrifically difficult subjects. So I was, like, my final year of high school, chemistry, physics, English only because I had to. That was the one, like, mandatory subject. You had to take English. You could pick between English and English literature, and fuck knows I wish I had to take an English literature, but whatever. I didn't take French in year 12. I took French in year 11. I was going to take French in year 12, but then I was doing a university program thing that required like a set of sessions, so I dropped French. So it was chemistry, Finnish, English, calculus, and geometry and trigonometry. And fuck that calculus teacher. What a dick. I tried. I fucking tried. I was so, like, must make parents proud of me. And so I worked my guts out. I, like, verge of breakdown kind of shit. And I tell you what, first year uni, I had the breakdown I was well overdue to have. But yeah, I fucking tried. I could not get my head around calculus. It just didn't click. Plus I was kind of, like, year 10 really, so like 14, 15, year 10. Was about the time that, like, natural talent started running out, and then I needed to rely on actually studying, and I never learned how to study. Because I'd relied on natural talent up until that point. So yeah, so I was rapidly running out of, like, just being able to rely on brain, and actually had to, like, read textbooks and stuff. So yeah, never got my head around calculus. I tried. I you know, I was the smart kid. I was the gifted kid. I was going to go to uni on a 99.1 TR or whatever. And it just, yeah, just couldn't get my head around it. So I got through term 1, I got halfway through term 2, and then halfway through term 2 was when the first semester exams happened. And I did the exams, and I studied, and I studied, and I tried, and I tried, and I got like, I don't think I passed. I think I got like 48 or something. Like, it was some, you know. Certainly below, like all of my other classes were like a straight A. And so to do that poorly was really crushing. And so I went to the teacher and I was like, look, is there any like, are there any other textbooks that I can read? Is there any other like ways that I can work these things out? Do I need to like get another student to help me or something? Like what can I do to, you know, to be better at this subject? And because the calculus class, there were 5 students. There was me and 4 boys, and the 4 boys were like 4 of the most intelligent kids in the year. And they were doing fine in that class. I was the only girl, and this teacher was just such an asshole. And he said to me, look, you can drop out of calculus, or you can stay in, but you'd be lowering the school's average in the, you know, in the district. And I'm like, wow, that's... And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I stayed in that class. I skipped class the rest of the year, took the exam, got about 15%, and I lowered the school average, because fuck him. I even got quite brazen about it at the end. Like, at first I was just like, oh no, I'm just like, sorry, I had like a counsellor meeting, or I had like, there was like Rocker Stedford practice or something, I just, you know. And the way the attendance system worked at the school, as long as you got marked off for the first class, you got marked off for the whole day. You didn't have to get marked off for individual classes, just the first one. And so there was only one day that I had that subject first. And I was best mates with the attendance lady. She was an Eagles fan just like I was. Like, I would see her every morning. She was the one that would sit in the office to let kids in before the school like started. And so I'd see her at 7:30 every morning and just be like, you know, hi Mrs. such and such. Oh, hi Greg, how's about the Eagles on the weekend? Oh, that was bloody good, cousins, yeah, you know. Like, that was fine. And so I would just, on the day that I had that subject first, I would wait until like 5 minutes after the siren went, and then I'd go like almost running up to that office, and I'd just stick my head in and be like, oh, it's Mrs. Such, I just had a counsellor meeting, I'm just heading to class now. And she'd be like, yep, no worries, and she'd mark me as present. And so I would just skip that class for the rest of the year. If the subject was later in the day, it didn't matter. I could just, you know, it was already marked off. It was only the first class. And so, whoa, shit. I forgot to move my trays. And so at first I was really like, I would just, you know, hide out in other classrooms and stuff. And then by the end of it, like a couple of weeks before the exams and stuff, I was literally walking across the, there was like 4 buildings in a square. And there was a grassy bit in the middle, and that's where the upper school kids would hang out. And the calculus room was like, had a window that faced onto that area. I was literally walking across that path, where literally all of them could see me there, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I never actually knew whether or not he knew that I wasn't dropped out or not. Like, he never said anything. Maybe he assumed that it had all gone, like that I had withdrawn. So it must have been a hell of a shock to the other 4 boys when I showed up for the exam at the end of the year. Kind of like boss man at work, insist on quitting my own work contract to me, but one major detail he's always getting wrong, but I ain't gonna tell him when he's the one started with, oh, but your contract says, if he knows what it says, he should know when he's wrong too. I think he's just using those words to like, basically to get you to shut up. Oh, you can't do this, your contract says. Oh, you have to do this, your contract says. He seems to think you're not going to read your own contract. What a fuckwit. We had the geometry maths all crammed together, then calculus, math 12, and physics also math heavy. Yes. See, we had, I think the reason they had it separate, at least for year 12, because in year 11, you had, oh gosh, what were the 2 subjects called? Applied maths and there were two. There was two separate math subjects, and you could combo them with different things. So the applied maths, I think you had to do applied maths if you were doing physics. But then there was also another maths subject that was separate. And so you could and you had to take both of those maths to do calculus in year 12. Because they were the prerequisites for it. Might have just been called algebra. I think it was more than that though, but anyway. So if you're doing physics, you had to do applied maths as well, and then if you did applied maths and the other maths, then you were allowed to do calculus in year 12, so... Whereas G&T you could do on its own. So you could do just G&T without having to do the two prerequisites. But if you were taking calculus in year 12, you had to do G&T as well. Which means you had to have taken the prerequisites the year before, and it's just, oh... That is not the kind of hot mess you should be dropping 16-year-olds into. That's it. Going. Oh. Fashion 2 out of 4 lectures in humanity path subjects. Yes. We only had English as a mandatory subject. All of the rest of them were elective. There were some combos you had to take both. Like I said, if you were doing physics, you had to do applied maths, but yeah. Spite is a wonderful motivator. Correct. My school had a thing where you signed into the period if you were late at the office, and they give you an administrative note to give the teacher. Every teacher just put them in the recycling bin. See, because of the way ours was set up, none of the teachers after first session took attendance. Because all of the teachers at first session took attendance, and so every teacher after that just assumed everyone was there. Or not there, as it was. Late in the bathroom, or go somewhere else. A bit of luck, but I was going to ask about that, yes. Fingers crossed. I'm so hoping today was his last official day. He just doesn't know it yet. Wait, is that blue bell? Yeah, that's the darker blue. I've got 2 more to do. I was meant to be assembling these cards by the end of stream, but it's nearly 6 o'clock and I'm fucking starving and the pies take 40 minutes, and yes. What do you mean I got distracted? You don't say. It's not that I mind, I'm just hungry. School had leave early passes, different colour each day, but the donkeys never dated them, just a new font every year. I mean, it's not a bad system, but yeah, like you said, if you're not dating them, what's the point? As long as you ended up with one of each colour, you're covered for the year. I think it was only in the last year, possibly the second last year, 11 and 12, maybe just 12. Like, they never bothered with, like, bathroom passes or whatever. They just, you know, trusted that the kids were going to the bathroom and then coming back. I do vaguely remember there was, I think it might have been just in the last year I was there. And it was fully a half a sheet of A4 that had been laminated to make it like really obvious that you were carrying one, and it's just like, seriously? I am mostly of the opinion that if school is meant to be teaching you, you know, preparing you for real life, which it doesn't, that's a whole nother kettle of fish, but anyway, if supposedly that's the thing, then I don't think kids should have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. They shouldn't make a big song and dance about it, they shouldn't be interrupting the class, but I think it should be perfectly reasonable to just quietly and unobtrusively just like get up, go, 5 minutes, whatever, be back, no questions asked. Of course you're going to get the shithead kids who take advantage of that, and they're the reason why we have bathroom passes in the first place. But, yes. I do not consider it necessary for a kid to raise their hand and be like, may I go to the bathroom, please? Fuck that. Like everyone Thursday sports day. And you need to show the gate teacher the front of the card either. You could cut your own for coloured paper from the visual arts block. Not that you'd ever do something like that. You know, the one thing that I always really resented was that I'd be, like, particularly if I was walking somewhere between classes, so I'd be the only student. So I'd be walking somewhere, there'd be a teacher walking in the opposite direction, they'd see a piece of rubbish and they'd point at it and tell me to pick it up. Like, you know, Mum always taught me that you put rubbish in the bin. I've never littered once in my life. Why am I picking up other kids' rubbish? Why is it always the you know, the good kids that get roped into that? Like, I never saw the teachers saying that to the kinds of kids who would litter. I wish I had had the guts at the time to be like, that's not my rubbish. Although to the kind of teacher who makes that comment in the first place, they wouldn't have cared whether or not it was my rubbish, that's not the point, but yeah. Like, knowing that I was someone that obsessively would go out of their way to find the nearest bin to put their rubbish in. Why am I cleaning up other kids' crap? Yeah, anyway, yep, power trips. We had clean up day for that. Yeah, we regularly had clean up day. And of course, the kinds of kids who would do the littering were the kinds of kids who'd slack off during clean up day, so what was the point? I don't know, it's not a rumor to say they asked that so that you know you when you've been there. Oh, I hope not. Ugh. Slightly pointless in my case because I was always the sort to wear pants. Not that that's really the point, I guess, but yeah. There was certainly no shortage of female students wearing very short skirts. They really didn't need me for that. That's what the people in detention are for. 4 times a year, clean up day, everyone that evening picks up rubbish, teachers and oh, the teachers never did. It making the students do it.